Jack looked up after finishing his schoolwork and saw he still had 5 minutes to get it in. Right at that moment, his alarm went off. In a weary voice, Jack told Black Bart to shut it off. "Kill that thing, Bart. I mean, don't kill it. Don't actually kill it. Just shut it off. Jesus, I'm tired." He started gathering his things, muttering the whole time about how tired he was. The professor he was meeting with was Dr. Marcus Thompson, the same professor he had his informal arrangement with. One of the terms of this arrangement was that he didn't have to bother attending class, thus giving him more time to conduct his research in the lab. Dr. Thompson had set a condition for this arrangement, though, a simple and efficient one. All his work needed to be done promptly and handed in on time. That was not only a condition for being excused from class, but for his continued use of Dr. Thompson's extra laboratory. Jack was eager to keep this arrangement and not be any more distracted than he had to be by his official schoolwork. He always made sure he was never, ever late, and he didn't want this time to be any different. As he was about to rush out the door, he remembered the professor would want an update. Professor Thompson was the one consulting with Jack on his research and doing everything he could to encourage it. He ran out to his car and gathered the notes and the logs from the trunk so his professor could look them over. Then he hurried over to Dr. Thompson's office. When he arrived, the door to the professor's office was locked, but the professor himself was walking down the hall dressed in his familiar tweed suit, a muffin in one hand and a large coffee in the other. "Jack!" he called out. "Just in time, I see."
"Professor, here's my coursework, and here are the notes from my private research."
"Hold on one moment. I can't take any papers when I'm holding a muffin and a coffee." He looked around, not seeing anywhere to put the muffin. To Jack's mild amazement, the professor solved this problem by shoving the muffin into his jacket pocket. Little bits of it crumbled off and scattered themselves all over his clothes. Then he put the coffee down on the hallway floor, reached into his pocket for his keys, checked another pocket, then muttered, "Oh, yes." He finally dug the keys out from under the muffin, which sent more crumbs scattering. Finally, he unlocked the office door, dropped the keys on top of the muffin, and reached down to pick up the coffee. "Come in, Jack, come in." Jack had secretly been hoping for an opportunity to drop everything off and get some sleep, but now there was no way he could do that. Professor Thompson was the only reason Jack was able to use the lab as much as he did, and he also had been actively involved in making sure nobody really knew what Jack was doing in that lab in the first place.